Every productivity guru on the internet has an opinion about your sleep schedule. 8 hours is the minimum. 6 hours is discipline. 4 hours is a personality trait. 2 hours is apparently a superpower if you sell it right and take enough supplements. They're all missing the point, because the conversation about sleep has never actually been about hours. It's been about what those hours are secretly doing to your brain, your biology, and your personality, while you're unconscious and completely unable to take credit for any of it. Your sleep schedule isn't just a habit. It's a biological fingerprint, and depending on how many hours you're actually getting, not the hours you tell people, the real ones, your body is running a completely different operating system to everyone else in the room. This is every hidden advantage of your sleeping hours. Explained. 1 to 2 hours. The chaos engine. Congratulations, you didn't really sleep. You briefly lost consciousness and then returned. Like a phone that rebooted, but still has 17 apps open from 2019. Here's what's actually happening. Your body never made it past light sleep. No deep sleep, no REM, no memory consolidation, no tissue repair. Your brain got the biological equivalent of a firm handshake, when what it needed was a full spa day. And yet, you're upright. You're functioning. Cortisol and adrenaline are surging through your system, like an internal emergency broadcast that never got the all-clear signal. Your fight-or-flight response has stepped in as CEO, and it is making decisions. The hidden advantage is this. Your threat detection system is running at full volume. Reaction times sharpen. Pattern recognition spikes. In ancestral environments, this was the state you entered when something large was trying to eat you, and it turns out that state is briefly, accidentally excellent for certain kinds of focused, high-stakes work. You are not thriving, but you are technically operational. The fine print. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for consequences, long-term thinking, and not saying things you can't take back, is essentially offline. You are making decisions with the reasoning center of a very alert golden retriever. Everything feels urgent. Nothing has context. You will be fine until you are suddenly, completely not fine, and there will be no warning. 2 to 4 hours. The borrowed time specialist. You got some sleep. Your brain knows this. Your brain is lying to you about what it means. 2 to 4 hours gives you one incomplete sleep cycle. Enough light sleep to lower the alarm bell slightly. Not enough of anything else to actually fix anything. But here's the paradox. Cortisol hasn't fully dropped yet. Norepinephrine is still elevated. For the first 2 hours of your day, you will feel sharp. Weirdly sharp. The kind of sharp that makes you think you've solved something, when actually you've just survived the night with extra adrenaline. Research on partial sleep deprivation shows something genuinely interesting. Sleep-restricted brains score higher on divergent thinking tasks. The usual filtering mechanisms that make you sensible and boring are partially offline. Connections form between ideas that wouldn't normally speak to each other. This is why the 3 a.m. thought sometimes sounds like genius. It occasionally is. It's also occasionally a business idea, involving mushrooms and a podcast. The fine print. By afternoon, the borrowed time comes due. Your reaction speed drops to levels comparable to being legally drunk, except nobody around you knows, and you're in a meeting making confident statements. The brain will collect what it's owed eventually, usually by shutting down without notice, somewhere deeply inconvenient. 4 to 6 hours. The high-functioning denial machine. This is where most people live, and most people who live here will tell you, unprompted, that they function fine on 5 hours. They will say this with the energy of someone who has never experienced functioning well, and therefore has no comparison point. You are getting some deep sleep. You are getting some REM. You are getting just enough of both to remain upright, and hold conversations, and occasionally make good decisions. Enough to convincingly impersonate a well-rested person to everyone around you, including yourself. Your body is compensating through stress pathways, running on cortisol the way a car runs on fumes. Technically moving, increasingly expensive. The hidden advantage is real though. Your system has become genuinely efficient at extracting maximum output from minimum input. People in this range develop a specific kind of high-pressure focus. Compressed timelines, faster prioritization, a lower tolerance for anything that wastes time. Not because they're disciplined, because their brain is rationing. The fine print. You are aging faster at a cellular level, and you feel completely fine about it, which is the most unsettling part. Telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes that determine biological aging, are shortening at an accelerated rate. You are, in the most literal scientific sense, spending your future to pay for your present. Your hippocampus is also keeping detailed notes on everything you're forgetting, which is its own kind of irony. 6 to 8 hours, the quietly winning human. Nothing about this is dramatic. That's the point. 6 to 8 hours is where your body stops compensating and starts actually completing the work. Full slow-wave sleep, full REM cycles. Your glymphatic system, the brain's overnight cleaning crew that flushes out metabolic waste, including the proteins linked to cognitive decline, gets enough time to finish the job. Growth hormone releases properly. Emotional memory gets filed. Your prefrontal cortex clocks back in, rested, and ready to stop you from making the decisions you made last Tuesday. The hidden advantage nobody talks about is emotional. People sleeping consistently in this range show measurably lower amygdala reactivity, the brain structure responsible for emotional alarm responses. You are, biologically, harder to rattle. Things that would derail a sleep-deprived person simply register differently. You're not calmer because you're more disciplined. You're calmer because your brain finished processing yesterday, before today arrived. The fine print. You cannot make this interesting. At a dinner party, nobody has ever leaned across a table and said, "I got 7 hours last night," and changed a room. This is the unglamorous victory. The silent return on investment. Your mitochondria are thriving, and nobody will ever know. 8 to 10 hours. The elite rebooter. Your body has been waiting for this. It didn't say anything. It was very patient, but it has been keeping a list. 8 to 10 hours is where recovery stops being functional and starts being generous. Tissue repair completes. Immune function strengthens. The Stanford study on basketball players sleeping 10 hours recorded improvements in sprint speed, shooting accuracy, and reaction time. Not because they trained more, but because they slept more. The adaptation your body was trying to make all week, it happens here, in the quiet, while you're doing absolutely nothing. REM sleep extends dramatically in the final morning hours. Dreams become longer, more narratively complex, more emotionally textured. Your brain isn't just filing memories, it's cross-referencing them, building connections between experiences you haven't consciously linked yet. Some researchers call this overnight creativity. Your brain is doing associative work you'll take credit for tomorrow. The fine print. Society will not celebrate this. You will receive messages that say, "must be nice," from people who are voluntarily sleep-deprived and have confused suffering with productivity. Ignore them. They are the chaos engines. You know what you are. 10 to 12 hours, the scheduled disappearance. You didn't just sleep. You left. You filed paperwork, handed over your responsibilities to your unconscious, and departed for somewhere with no notifications and no social obligations. We respect it. 10 to 12 hours triggers something your body almost never gets to complete. A full, unhurried run through every sleep stage, multiple times, with no alarm forcing an early exit. Your immune system uses this window like a construction crew that finally got the site to themselves. Neuroplasticity peaks. Your brain physically reorganizes, pruning unnecessary connections, reinforcing important ones, doing the structural maintenance that shorter sleep windows simply don't have time to touch. The hidden advantage is recovery from things you haven't admitted you need to recover from. The body knows what the mind is still negotiating with. Burnout, grief, illness, accumulated stress. Your system uses extended sleep to process what it hasn't had bandwidth to reach. You didn't oversleep. You paid a debt that had been accumulating quietly for longer than you realized. The fine print. If this is occasional, you are healing. If this is every day and you still wake up exhausted, your body isn't recovering. It's signaling. There's a difference between a scheduled disappearance and not being able to return. One is restoration. The other is your biology asking a question worth taking seriously. Now here's the only thing that matters right now. Which one are you? Not the one you're aiming for. Not the one your calendar pretends you are. The real one. The one that just described your last 3 Wednesdays with uncomfortable accuracy. Drop it in the comments. Chaos engine. Borrowed time specialist. High-functioning denial machine. Quietly winning human. Elite rebooter. Scheduled disappearance. 6 categories. One of them just recognized you before you recognized yourself. If this video rearranged something in your brain, the subscribe button is right there, and it costs exactly 0 hours of sleep. Like it if your body got personally called out. And share it with whoever needs to stop lying about their number. We'll see you in the next one. Go rest.